Yes.
Okay. I would like to call this meeting to order, Johnson County Solid Waste Management District at 12:01 on January 8th, 2024.
About 2:01.
2:01, sorry. First item on this roll call,
Kevin Walls,
present.
Ron West,
Present.
Brian Baird, David Lexi,
Here.
John Ditmars,
Here.
Mark Myers.
Here.
We have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. First on the docket is election of officers. I got any recommendations?
I want to nominate Kevin Walls for president,
Second.
chairman, whatever you are.
There's a reason Susie showed you.
What did you
So-
mumble there under your breath? Who'd you nominate for vice president? You?
John Ditmers, I believe.
No, he can't be.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know why, I can't.
He's the designated person for signee.
Oh,
So he can't be on the bank.
I'd make a recommendation, Mark Myers.
Well,
Or
second.
nominate Slate, is that gentleman?
What just happened? We're just knocking it down.
I just got taken advantage of it.
I think I gotta take advantage of first.
And you even showed up for the meeting, still got taken advantage of.
We could have done Brian, he's not here.
Yeah,
So I have, Kevin was nominated for chair, Mark was nominated for vice chair, and
Commissioner West,
Commissioner West still.
Secretary.
Good. Is that what we're going with?
it's been a hard job, but
I'll
I've
make-
been able to.
I'll make
pull it
that
without-
nomination if you need it.
Okay,
I'll second it.
thank you.
Got them all slated.
Well, I'm already, you need to vote.
We will.
Need a vote.
I just want to make sure everybody, so I'm Kevin Walls will remain president, Mark Myers vice, Ron would be secretary. That's the slate presented. So
Nominations closed, is that what you're looking for?
there you go.
Vote.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, same. Motion carries.
Thank
I
you.
move we accept the slate.
Thank you.
Second it.
Have a first and a second. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, same. Motion carries. Mark, I'm gonna be absent, so you'll be president all year.
I'm not feeling well myself, Brian.
Okay,
Sure hope there's not a recount. We're done.
trying to figure it all out.
Apparently the peanut gallery has a lot to say too, so.
Next thing on the agenda, item number 4 would be approval of minutes from November 6, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
For a first and a second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Thank you. Treasurer's report. Angela. Are you gonna be our new full-time Pat out of it?
Full time seems a bit aggressive. So we'll see how that goes. I may have to fly Pat in at some point if I don't do well, so. Okay, check register approval from November 7th to December 31st of 2023. 39,746.35. Yeah.
Yep.
I got it. Thanks.
Do I have any questions?
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
A motion and a second.
Thank you.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same.
We do have one line item transfer on the income statement for 2023. We need to move $79.05 from account 5113, which is hourly wages, to 5190, which is unemployment tax.
Do I have any questions for Angela on that?
Move to approve with the corrections.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries.
And then check register approval for January 1st through January 8th of 2024 for $12,780.25.
Any questions?
Move approve. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Please state aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Angela. That was easy for a first one. CAC committee.
Well, we did have our pitch in. It was wonderful. Everybody showed up, everybody participated. We have our date set for the new year. And we have actually had some good communication, even within our members that have been being asked questions. To include our indie roll-up, and we've helped them a couple of times recently in regards to helping some of the residents in the county who have contacted him for several things. So it's been great to be able to make those connections with him serving on the board with us as well. So we will continue to update you when it comes to our programming. I do believe they anticipate doing something for Earth Day around that time. We've talked about some different things with the solstice information going out as, excuse me, the eclipse information going out as well. So they're excited to continue. As I said to Mark and Becky, you can retire from school, but not us. So hopefully they will continue on.
Any questions for Jesse? I got one. For the eclipse, are you planning on anything special or you?
Well, I mean, we're always putting out things for the community. We said we would help the library with some of their programs to be able to kind of put together some things made from recycled materials. We've given them information about, ways that we can create the glasses. As far as the rest of it goes, I mean, we don't have services available.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, I have made sure to communicate since the beginning of last year about trash in the community, certainly throughout the county, as it was a big concern for me because I knew that no one was really talking about it. I mean, I care an awful lot about the recycling, but I care even more of what Johnson County is going to look like after all these people leave. We have been working, reached out, finally got some information back with the international community that collects the glasses. That sends them on to other countries that can't afford them to be able to utilize. Because again, one thing that everybody needs to remember is do not look directly into the sky. I mean, it is such an important piece. And yet I think of all the things that are going out, we're not really talking about that. And it's huge. And so, especially with little kids and different things. And so they do collect those glasses. So we are hoping to use the old raised containers that we have, create some slots that will only allow for that to certainly put out in Franklin, but we don't have a lot of that around. But if there is a way for the communities to collect that, we are hoping to be able to hold on to them. And whenever we can figure out the cost and where to go, I mentioned that they should reach out to Republic, the big companies that will be represented with all the trash during that time. As a way of maybe a goodwill, a grant program, something for that collection. So she hadn't thought about that. So I gave her all the contacts I knew kind of regionally, but I don't have the national contacts, obviously. And so I said, hopefully maybe these people can get you somebody that may be willing to give you $10,000 or $15,000 to, ship this material. We're hoping that obviously we can combine them all into one or two totes and hang on to those totes until we know better what to do. So that's kind of our plan. But if anybody has any questions, if anybody needs any support, we're here to certainly help out. Again, I went down to Kentucky 4 years ago to see this, or 6 years ago, whatever it was now. And everybody was parked everywhere. So, and it's going to be later in the day, this go around too, which I think is going to have a big impact on the amount of waste that we see because people are going to be hanging out. So I hope that, I know that the emergency management has put out information. I hope that the schools and the different places that have set up for these people are prepared.
And that's a great point too on the vision, the damage that can be caused there. We need to somehow
Yes, and that's why every time we get asked, we say we'll help them with, and I hate to use the term craft, but it is a craft. That uses recycled material, but that is specific to helping with the vision, because there's actually several things out there that you can do for kids. So fun activity, but also a purpose. I mean, because it's really important.
Festival has yes, an amount of classes there for free.
Yes.
Anyone wants.
Yes, and we've been telling people that, and we told our staff that, go to festival, but yeah, I don't know, and I can talk to Stephanie and say, hey, Stephanie, I'll be happy to write up a quick PSA that says, and we should probably put this out there, because you're gonna have kids. I mean, not every parent's gonna be home, not every, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
Yeah, we've all heard of the potential damage for exposure to that, but I've never heard of any remedies or anything to do after the effect if somebody,
again, yeah.
I would think there's something, I don't know. I mean, be interesting to find out and disseminate that information also, but if there is something, it's gotta be something, I would guess. I don't.
It'd be interesting to see. So. That's your report. You might as well stay right there. Joe.
Absolutely. Because of the conversation that we've had, and the whole, and unfortunately, Commissioner Baird is not here, but the whole concept of where I said it's kind of difficult when we just talk about people as numbers or a car as a number, because it doesn't really give you the whole picture. So we know that we even think our schedule to stay open a little bit more than the holidays is trying to accommodate. So I just wanted to tell you what 7 days was like between, that kind of when I was the Christmas break. So I did the 19th to the 29th, but we were open 7 of those days. You have to figure on average 8 hours, because some are 8.5, some are 7. And so we saw about 420 cars during that time. It does average about 60, which is where we were. Seemed like a lot if I was just saying there were 60 cars a day. When you break it down to what would actually be per minute per time, because we know that it makes a big difference. But the problem is that even imagine is that on those 7 days in those 420 cars that came through, we actually went from an average of every day and every day. Immediately putting in bail. We averaged about 2 bails a day during the context that we collected.
15,000 pounds
15,000 pounds of cardboard
in 7 days?
in 7 days.
I'll have to do the math on that. 427.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's why I'm not saying it's not good to collect, cars. I mean, obviously we do collect, but it doesn't really paint the picture of what we could be handling during that time. And that's not, and obviously out of this was Stephen going to businesses, but the reality is the businesses didn't really have much during this time, because they're closed and they've already gotten their materials in. So yeah, so I kind of wanted to paint that picture a little bit, for you. So,
These residential customers.
yes. Mhm. Yeah. Thank you, Rocky.
Thank you, Amazon.
Yeah, that too, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and if you think about it, big containers, everything that comes through, but So anyways, so we are back up to staff. I should be having my other full-time person finish the school at the middle of March, so I anticipate her coming on April 1st. So far, so good. We have everybody on schedule. We even have a little, so if something happens, we may be okay. We are thrilled to have Carla back. It was very crazy during November and December with all the programming we already had slated and trying to fill in for some of the losses. So we are thrilled to be back up and running normal as we run at the district anyways. And so on to spring programming. We'll be meeting on Wednesday actually to discuss which programs we'll be incorporating. We will definitely be doing a rain barrel program this year because we have rain barrels available to us that we still have. So between composting, rain barrels, working with Purdue, working with some of the libraries, we already have some of that program in play. We will set all our dates for our shredding days. We of course will do them sometime April, August, and November. That's what we generally do. And anything else that kind of pops up for us. So, and last but certainly not least, I'm really excited. We are once again working with the MS4s for their contractors workshop. And this year, our focus is truly going to be on disaster debris, storm damage, all of those things that, you know, once again, we know hope happens and impacts our community. So it'll be good to have the MS4s there and hopefully some of our zoning and planning people so that they can make sure that they have a plan in place. But also we are having the contractor for the warehouse that actually did a lot of the cleanup come and speak on their responsibility and what that looked like, given the fact that, you know, they obviously had the damage from the tornado and then the fires and then what happened. And then also speak to the fact that, you know, whether it's a large warehouse or an apartment building that's in the middle of being built or houses in a development, you know, what's going on with the building in the subdivision, what the impacts could be. So really just trying to focus on all of those things because many of them aren't thinking about the responsibility that they have and how should they be handling it and maybe how should their materials be prepared in a better way, knowing a storm is coming up, what we're looking at and so forth. So that is going to be the focus of this year's program. I think it'll be excellent. We had actually better attendance last year, even I think just because we're organizing it a little bit differently now. So I think it will continue to grow and be a good benefit to the MS4s and to our community in general.
Will you let everybody know when that is, Jesse?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the, I'm sorry, I don't have it right on me, but it's that last full Friday in February, but I'll get you the exact date and I'll give you all the information so you can share it as
If you just share that to the board, please.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody got any questions for Jess?
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jess. Legal report.
Oh, thank you, sir. A couple of housekeeping matters. One time I have more policies than ever and I don't bring my glasses, so please forgive my squinting, if you will. I should know. But we have a couple of housekeeping measures that we take action on every year. And there are twofold. One of those is a certification of the board members. Thank you, ma'am. A certification of the board members relating to both anti-nepotism and direct line supervision. I'm sure in your other lives, you probably execute similar certifications. The legislature passed new legislation, I'm gonna say probably 7-8 years ago, which probably means 10 years ago, requiring any office holder and or board appointee to disclose that they are have not hired relatives and that they find relatives. They've also have a direct line supervision that they do not supervise those relatives in their official capacity. Given the fact that we are a very small board, it's not nearly as hard or arduous to look into it for that purpose. There's also provisions set forth in the certification is on your desk that you are not directly contracting with our district, or if you would disclose that. So those are annual certifications that we do. We do adopt a resolution asking that all board members execute both of those certifications. So their first resolution number 2024-01 is the complying with the legislation as submitted. Any questions? Happy to answer.
Make a motion that we adopt. 2401.
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second on 2024-01. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, same.
Thank you, sir. If you would be so kind, please provide those to Carla when you send them over. If you have any questions, I'll hang around and answer them if I can. The second resolution that we have adopted, this has been probably 4 or 5 years ago, particularly when we went to meeting quarterly instead of every month. We got into situations that were the regular and routine bills that would become due before our next regular scheduled meeting. And so what we did, actually at the suggestion of Pat several years ago, was create a list of those regular and routine expenses that allow those to be paid prior to our meeting, and then we ratify those expenses. Attached to the resolution are the most recent lists of what we call regular and routine expenses that we normally have available to you. My office worked with Jesse before preparing it for your agenda, and these are things that pretty much you see. Still doesn't mean you won't see them. We just may have paid them prior to you seeing them at your next board when you'll ratify what those payments are. That's the second resolution.
Lynn,
Yes, sir.
you said since we went to meeting quarterly, did you mean by month?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I thought, hell, I'm
You
coming
thought-
a
you thought
long
it was
time.
something- No, bi-monthly, thank you.
Okay.
And that had nothing to do with my eyesight. Just
Yeah,
had it in mind, so you can fix that, Carl. Yes, bi-monthly.
Couldn't see what you were saying, right?
See what I'm saying? That's correct.
Make a motion that we accept
2402.
2402. Second.
Have a first and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. That resolution carries also.
Thank you.
I have some further things, but I think they're on the next item of the agenda, sir.
Update on building. That would be me.
Yes, that would be you, sir. And
I have a meeting with the architect tomorrow morning. And I think you guys have one following that up for the internal stuff. So not really much more to say other than they've been working on it and we're gonna just solid some things up tomorrow and Jesse will look at it and should have more the next meeting. Hopefully be moving a lot for us faster then.
Mr. President, to that point, what is the proposed timeline, since we've got kind of a hard stop on a lease? Do we have anything like a benchmarks and milestones we're trying to hit from a project management standpoint, or are we?
I would not say anything at this present time until I get out of the meeting tomorrow. But I know we have the deadline, I know the drop dead date, so we're trying to work underneath that. Does that make sense?
It does, but after.
I'm being basic
We're gonna
right now.
build something out that has like
I will give
ahead
you,
schedule, behind schedule, that sort of thing.
once I meet and find out where the architect's at tomorrow, I'll be better equipped to answer that question. So, and then I'll provide that.
Mr. Dittmer, if
Oh.
I may add, Peters, please jump in here. With regard to financing, I believe we're gonna expedite that relatively quickly. As soon as we left this last meeting, Bill Barrett is your bond counsel. I can answer your question. Promise not to bill any answer. It is your bond counsel, and he is working with Mr. Pittman, who is from Barnes and Thornburg, and they have been working on, in fact, that's the resolution you see after this, for you to be done. We went through a timeline, he presented the timeline to us, Mr. Peters, your financial consultant. He reviewed the timeline, and we believe we'll be there now in April. Right? We'll have everything done.
Have all your approvals mid-March, you're ready to sell on sell on after that, so that. Whatever.
Right, so we believe that your funding will be available whenever you guys are ready to pull.
Full issue funding and then the project itself, right? So that's what I was getting.
Funding
Thank you.
somewhat expedited that couple of weeks over the holidays to make sure that it will be available, so I don't believe you have to wait on the money. Just
Good.
getting it.
So these projects are mid-loaded or backloaded anyway, they're not too much upfront, so we should be able to get things rolling.
In that vein, for your consideration, and I told Bill he had conflicts, I cited in here, but in that vein, there is before you a resolution, number 2024-03, the territory resolution approving the project. If you recall, at our last meeting, the board approved security financing for this, which is the bond proceeds, and there's a process that's involved in that. So Mr. Coons can probably be making on that. This is the first process, then you have to publish. We get notifications that we need to take care of it. It's the first resolution. That's necessary.
debate this for a while, if we
Okay.
would like.
Absolutely. This actually began, when I pulled out my
Wait for
normal
you to.
contracts for approval for Pat's office and then Angela's office. And I looked at it and it hadn't been revised in the last 20 something years in terms of that. And I looked at it and I reached out to Jesse and I said, you know, we're paying Pat the same amount we're paying since 23 years ago, I think. And she said, and you are the same rate. And so I looked and I am, and so I am proposing for your consideration that both of those hourly rates be raised from what they previously were at 135 to 160. I cannot speak for Mr. Sherman and his firm. Angela, I don't know what your hourly rates are. Mine are currently in the private practice field, 350. Don't debate that, please, in public. That is my.
Said that in public.
I am willing to continue to do it at 160 if you would be so inclined. I would ask for your consideration. I believe that is the same amount that I am charging the city of Franklin, so I see that as my government service contract.
You're a very well respected public servant. Thank you.
If we need to debate this out for a while.
We need to talk about it for a while.
159.
159.95.
You need a better salesperson.
Well, no. You see, the hour, there are two ways to get there. We can either adjust the rate or we can adjust the time. Yeah.
They're going down.
That's right, but my time will go up. So it'll all come out.
Are you working on 10-minute increments or?
I will be.
Yeah.
Be more like a 1 minute. if
30
we
second.
buy nickel.
Got the puncher right next to their phone.
In all fairness to you, because I know you were all very considerate of your budget in terms of what we have not increased the legal budget line, nor have we gotten to the point where we had to close it. So I think your budget is fine at any rate.
That means everybody's been behaving
Maybe,
somewhat.
that's right.
I would like to.
Slow down a little bit more. We're gonna do a roll call vote on that. We're supposed to do roll call votes, weren't we?
No,
Only when somebody.
we don't have anybody attending,
Oh, nobody.
so we're
Okay.
fine. We have a quorum. And we're fine.
Right. Angela didn't weigh in on that. I presume that
Are you okay with your fees? Do we need to call?
Fee is the same.
160.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about recommending 175 just so we'd be able to debate this for a while. In the essence of time, I'll have with your thoughts.
Well, we have a real slow
I'm glad you
first.
said 175 and not 75. Thank you.
Yeah.
This motion on both of the service agreements.
I would take,
Whatever your preference.
I would take
That's what it
both
was.
motions.
Yeah.
All right, I'll second that.
Everybody really thought about that really hard. We did. You studied it well. Come on, hurry it up, guys in there.
you get some.
I'd like to also address the additional meeting here for.
So we got a motion on the floor.
We're just trying to stall. We're having discussion now.
Yeah.
If there's any discussion. Okay,
Jeff's back.
Jeff's back, so we should be in printing right now. We have a motion and second on the floor for both resolution or both contracts, basically, services. For accounting and legal. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. Good. Motion passes.
Thank you. If I might, sir, under continuing the legal report, you'll recall that at the end of this, when we adjourn this meeting, you will reconvene for the meeting of the board of directors, of the finance board of the Johnson County Solid Waste.
Yeah.
We have our prospective new member here, pursuant to statute, the first meeting of every year, after the regular meeting. And then the same board reconvenes in the purpose of the finance board meets once a year to report our controller to the board where our finances are held, and where they're available to be reviewed publicly, what institutions we're dealing with. So that is why there's a very short meeting after this. And you'll only be here one time a year unless you have a need to call a special meeting. Thought that was a good film.
Thank you. Anything else to add to that, Lynn? While we're
Yes.
still waiting here for a couple of minutes?
Continue to filibuster.
I'm usually trying to.
Okay, this would be the one that will have the signatures, because it's the 2 pages, and then I think I. Hopefully made enough.
I'll give everybody a second to read through this.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe that,
Resolution.
that would be
2405.
yeah.
Yes, I put it on the.
Oh, four.
Okay.
Or four.
We did 03. We just need
1, 2,
04.
3.
That's,
There's sig-
They have the one that has the. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Peter.
Discussion of professional contracts, do they have them to execute powers and, underwriters?
I believe they were already executed, but you know.
well, where I didn't hear that.
Contracts for us and underwriters for the bond issue.
Were those executed prior to the end of the year, I thought.
I think so.
They were executed.
Okay, if we could get copies.
Probably just to-
It's not different than the one we did that you originally sent.
Is that second?
That's a second.
Yeah, it would have come after 3 on our agenda.
So we have a motion on the floor now for, we didn't vote on that first one, did we?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah, we haven't done anything on this one.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You were having us think that you hit it. I saw that.
Okay, so everybody had a chance to.
Yeah.
Read over this. Do we need to do anything as far as changing this
No, just.
on the agenda? This formal motion?
Because you'll see it, all matters related there too
Okay,
is on the agenda.
I'll make a motion that we accept resolution number 2024-04.
I'll second that.
all right. We have a first and a second on the floor. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. Motion carries. Carl, you're looking like you want to say something.
Nope, I'm just waiting because you're gonna want me here in a minute.
Mr. Chairman, I would indicate to you that this motions that you, the resolutions that you just approved will now be forwarded on to your local council and to general council. I would expect that they will then, you will see things published in the paper. That's the next step. These resolutions.
Sure.
I will turn it over to them and kind of write word on it if you will.
I will ask if there's any public comment. Susie, have you learned enough? You probably learned a lot, because this is a pretty big meeting than we used to typically have. Okay. Then I would look for a motion to adjourn the regular meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Second. All right, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
See you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bye, Jeff.
See you. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay.